Red leather, yellow leather, red leather. Good. Come on, people. Make this a good one. Thank you, Dawn. Feeling good, feeling good. Gonna be a good one. Let's do it. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Ballarat Studios, BTV Channel 8 and Chinaman Electrics are proud to present Game of Champions, the quiz show where only the smartest survive. And now, please welcome the stars of the show, Alan and Verity Coleman.
Thank you, Tony. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Have we got an exciting show for you tonight? After countless heats and thousands of questions, tonight's game is the championship round.
One contestant will take home all the prizes and £1,000 in cash, courtesy of Chinaman Electrics. The loser will go home with nothing. And now it's time for me to introduce to you our contestants. Our longest-running champion ever, the man with all the answers, Simon Lowe. And his challenger, the very charming James Holbrook.
Are you ready to play Game of Champions?
Oh, your father treated his family for years.
What, Chinese bloke?
No, James Holbrook.
He's nice.
Oh, come on, he's not that good looking.
Simon, this is your final question.
Get this right, and the money's yours. The Stanford Binet test tells us which of these has the lowest IQ. A, moron. B, cretin. C, imbecile. D, idiot. And your time's up. Your answer, please.
Cretin.
And that's wrong. Simon Lowe, thanks for playing Game of Champions. And congratulations to our new quiz champion, James Holbrook.
Congratulations, James. You take away £1,000 in cash, together with these great prizes from Chinaman Electric. Tune in tomorrow night when our new champion, James Holbrook, will return to defend his title.
Have you seen him?
No,
You
Simon.
were meant to be keeping an eye on him.
Don't start, Alan. This wasn't my idea.
There you are. We were getting worried.
This isn't fair.
I know, Simon. You must be very disappointed.
You made me lose.
Settle down, son.
Don't tell me to settle down. This is fair.
Simon!
He's dead.
Holbrook, I take it?
It is. What are you doing here?
Our James's fiancée called me on the family. Doctor, what about you?
I was in the audience. I like quiz shows.
Explains the civvies. You look very smart. Might go take a look at the room where it happened. Are you coming?
Ambers reckon it was a heart attack.
Yes, I just checked his history. Makes sense. Heart disease runs in the family.
Bloke wins £1,000, then dies. It's ironic, really.
Yes. I better talk to the boy's fiancée.
No bloody way.
Patrick.
That chink is not going back onto the show.
Simon's the holdover champion.
People keep coming into the store just to tell us how much they hate the little bastard.
Superintendent, anything you need?
Yes, actually, I'd like to talk to Dawn Prentice, James's fiancée.
Dr. Blake, our police surgeon.
We sent Dawn home.
She was the one who found his body.
Dreadful thing.
It certainly is.
I couldn't help overhearing. Simon Lowe coming back on the show.
Over my dead body.
Simon was our previous champion. Now James is dead. We have to bring him back. They're the rules.
I'm with Patrick on this. You saw him after the show. He was out of control.
Took losing badly, did he?
He was upset.
He threatened us.
Where is he now?
Well, he went home. Couldn't get out of here fast enough after we found James.
And you want to put him back on air.
We might leave you to it.
Well, he didn't lose any money, Patrick. At least that's something.
Oh, Jesus.
No, James. I really never expected to see you in here. Certainly not yet. We all knew your heart needed some attention. But to fail you right after you won £1,000. You were very good on the music questions. And what have you done here? So much for a heart attack, James.
Bloody hell. What?
Listen, James Holbrook was electrocuted. Not heart. Well, not a heart attack as such.
You sure?
Flesh burns on his hands, soles of his feet. I'm surprised the ambulance boys didn't pick up on it. There must be something of an electrical fault or something live in that room that he touched.
Superintendent Lawson, Ballarat Police. Give me Alan Coleman, BTV8.
Alan Coleman. This question goes to Matthew Lawson, first practical use of the telephone.
Alexander Graham Bell, 1876.
Correct.
Mr. Coleman, Superintendent Lawson, I need you to close down that dressing room now.
I was horrified to get your call this morning, Superintendent. It's awful to think that the station might have had a hand in his death. But I've had Roger check all the electrics in the room. He couldn't find anything.
And who's Roger?
The station technician. Part-time, of course.
Can you get him up here? Well, at first I thought it might have been the lights. They're fine. Then I checked the kettle. I thought James might have made a cup of tea or something.
Nothing?
Nothing. I put everything through the voltmeter, even the television, even though I checked that at the store before I brought it in.
The store?
Roger works part-time at Tyneman Electrics as well.
And electrics seem to be the issue here.
I thought James had a heart attack.
Not according to the doctor. We had high hopes for James. He was very popular.
I'd noticed.
It's Dawn I really feel for.
It was the television.
I put it through the voltmeter, it's fine.
Well, you may have, but you didn't actually look at the television, did you, Roger?
I checked it.
What's he doing?
Lawson. Here we are. Have a look at this. Have a look at that. It's a screw that's missing from the back panel of the television set.
That's brand new. It's never been used. What?
Someone tampered with the television.
Roger brings the prizes in from the shop on the day of the show. The television was brand new.
Where did he go after that?
In this office.
And Roger was the only one who had access to it before the show.
And me, Alan and Dawn.
Right. Alan, tell me, what about after the show?
It was in the champion's dressing room. And Roger took it there before we went to air.
Thank you, Dawn. I told her to take the day off.
Who else had access to the television once it was put in the dressing room?
Well, the door was unlocked. Anyone could have got in. And the room was left open after James's body was taken away. But
Simon went missing after the show. We couldn't find him for about 10 minutes, then suddenly he appears.
basically attacked us. He was in a filthy mood.
So you think he might have tampered with the set?
I have no idea. The point is, the television was in the dressing room. Simon had just lost £1,000.
£1,000. That'd be motive.
Possibly. Dawn, are you sure you should be at work today?
Well, I have to be doing something. This place would fall apart without me, so...
Yes. Look, I know this is difficult. But what did you see when you entered that room?
I saw James lying on the floor.
Anything else?
Oh. Why?
I'm just trying to work things out. Where were you before that?
I was looking for Simon. We were all looking for Simon.
Yes, so I gather.
Well, if I had have been here, none of this might have happened. So maybe you should ask Simon where he was when James died.
Well, everyone was out looking for Simon Lowe after the show.
Roger Lambert checked the circuitry of the television. There was no damage and no wires were out of place.
Well, someone got to it.
He also reckons that Simon Lowe had more than a workingman's knowledge of electronics.
How would Roger Lambert know that?
He was in school with Simon. And Dawn. And James, apparently.
They all went to school together.
In the same class.
Bloody hell. Well, maybe we should be talking to Roger.
I think I'll have a chat with Simon.
Mr. Coleman said that you attacked him last night. Is this correct?
Yes.
Why?
I should have won.
You were missing for 10 minutes after the show had finished. Where were you?
That's an exaggeration.
So you weren't missing?
It was 8 minutes.
Where were you?
Out.
What were you doing?
Nothing.
I don't know how you do things at home, but you don't get to piss me about in my own country. Do you understand?
Are you going to hit me now?
Mr. Lowe, please. James Holbrook is dead. We're just trying to find out what happened to him, all right? So we're simply asking some questions here today.
Oi, I'm going to the guy.
You familiar with electronics, Mr. Lowe?
Obviously.
So if I was to ask you to pull apart a television, for example.
The electrics of a television set consist of a rectifier to convert from alternating to direct current. Also capacitors, a regulator, and a control circuit. Basic circuit theory.
I think that means he could.
Did you sabotage the television in Mr. Holbrook's dressing room?
No.
He's not even trying to make himself look innocent.
I don't think he feels he needs to.
Clearly, the fact that a man's been murdered doesn't seem to bother him a bit.
So what's your next move?
I'll let him sweat it out for a bit, and I'll pull him back in.
Oh, he didn't appear to be sweating that much to me.
It's an annoying piece of work.
I think he must be Filipino. He's speaking Tagalog.
Anything else I should know?
Yes. You should be investigating him for murder.
What's that?
1, 2. 2, 3.
What's going on?
Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Yes, you say that every time you borrow something. Sunny side up's on this evening.
Right.
So, what are you trying to do?
Well, I'm working out how to turn a television set into a murder weapon.
Well, do you actually know what you're doing?
Well, just basic circuit theory according to Simon Lowe.
Right, so, how do you do it?
Well, if you're not concerned about damaging the television, you simply run a high-tension supply from the cathode ray to the aerial socket.
And you don't want to do that?
Well, no, that'd blow the tube.
No, you don't want to blow the tube?
Danny, whoever sabotaged James Holbrook's television didn't leave a single sign apart from a small screw they dropped on the floor.
Yeah, but are we actually sure that it was sabotaged?
No. No. But I can't for the life of me think of another explanation.
What's happened?
Lucien?
Yes. I'll go find the fuse box, shall I? Ooh! There you are.
What'd you do to it?
He was conducting an experiment.
Sort of experiment.
He wanted to know how long it was going to take to get from the living room to the fuse box with the house in complete darkness.
And I did find the fuse box.
But not the fuse wire. My guess is that it's ruined.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Jean.
Excuse me.
Trouble on the home front?
Oh, I was testing a theory about how a television might be dangerous if you touched it, and how that could happen without blowing the tube.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. You take a couple of cables, then you wire them from the main socket through the back of the set to the aerial socket. But you'd have to touch the aerial to get a shock.
Right. Of course, you'd have to take the cables out again before anyone found them.
Right.
Seems you've been giving this some thought, Roger.
Well, I was trying to work out why there wasn't any damage to the set.
Tell me, was the television on when you left it in the room?
Huh?
I'll get it. If the lights stay on.
No. Listen, I understand you went to school with Simon.
Simon, Dawn, James and me. It was a special academic program. I was never really in the running, though.
Must have been tough competing with him, eh?
Simon always came out ahead. I heard the police were talking to him.
Yes. What do you think?
Simon was always playing with circuits and wires at school. If it was me, I'd be locking him up. You know it's going to cost you to have it repaired.
Yes, lovely. We'll do that. Thank you. Phone call for you.
All right. Excuse me, Roger. Yes, Dr. Blake. What kind of trouble?
Business, please. Okay, I understand that when it gets to this.
Please don't give me that.
Just everybody relax so I can understand what's going to happen.
Just keep this man away from the shop,
Yes, I'm trying, sir. All right, if you can just step backward. He pushed me into the traffic.
Doc, glad you're here.
This man came into my shop making certain wild allegations.
They're true.
My manager here asked him to leave. He assaulted him, so I grabbed
That's
him.
a lie. He pushed me onto the road. A car ran into me. He tried to kill me.
Hang on. A car hit you. Are you hurt?
It simply brushed against him, that's all.
Thank you, Patrick. I was talking to Mr. Lowe. Are you hurt?
I hurt my knee when I fell on the gutter.
Just step aside with me for a moment, would you? Did you hit your head?
I can't remember.
All right, Mr. Lowe, just follow my finger with your eyes and tell me, why were you here?
He was making absurd claims about the show.
Totoo yun? Walang hiyak ka?
Hindi na kai lang yan. Ano ba ang nangyari?
Tingin ko dinaya ang palabas.
What's he saying?
Kinausap niya ang dati kong guro, Professor Waterman.
We talk English here, Mr. Lowe. If you want to speak Chinese, you can go back home.
Actually, Patrick, he's speaking Tagalog.
I don't give a damn. He speaks English and he learns how to behave.
Huwag mong siyaring ang oras mo. I'll be laying a complaint.
God alone knows what rubbish he's been telling you.
Who's Waterman?
That went well.
Yes. It's all going terribly smoothly today, Danny. Better track down this Waterman.
See you, Doc.
Professor Waterman.
Yes?
Dr. Lucien Blake, police surgeon. Simon Lowe mentioned your name. Do you mind if we have a chat?
Simon Lowe. Frankly, I was glad to see the back of him. He didn't belong in our school system.
Roger Lambert certainly had a few things to say.
Well, I'm not surprised. Roger and James Holbrook got themselves into a lot of trouble with our Mr. Lowe.
What kind of trouble?
There was some violence on the Oval one lunchtime. It was understandable with Simon Lowe, but it got out of hand. We had to expel Roger Lambert.
Tell me, why was Roger expelled and not James?
Lambert was a bad influence. James told us everything. You want to know what Simon Lowe was really like? Read this. Simon Lowe wrote it just before he graduated. It's typical of the boy.
Critical analysis of the teaching methods of Professor M. Waterman. He gave this to you.
I hope your patients treat you better.
Professor Waterman has a pompous manner that attempts to hide consistently sloppy thinking and incorrect...
You don't need to read it out.
He has a weak grasp of higher mathematics and conceptual physics.
Well, it goes on, much like the boy himself. I had 12 other pupils to teach at this time.
Use of terms of abuse. Especially the word idiot. You called him an idiot.
It was the only way I could get him to stop answering every single question.
Well, clearly he's not an idiot.
Well, obviously. But it proved to be most effective at the time, especially when the other students cottoned on.
Professor, was that really necessary?
The other students needed to step up. Dawn Prentice, for example, such a clever girl, always in Simon's shadow.
Right. Tell me, have you had, or indeed do you have, contact with Alan Coleman and Patrick Tyneman?
Well, yes, indeed. I write questions for their show. There's a whole group of us, academics, of course.
Of course. And let me guess, the idiot question, that was one of yours, wasn't it?
Quite possibly.
They came to you, didn't they? Wanting to know how to unsettle Simon, and you told them exactly how to do it.
I have signed a confidentiality contract. I couldn't possibly comment.
Thank you, Professor. I think I have everything I need.
You did a good job on it. Took me half the morning to fix it up.
Is it working now?
It wasn't a shop.
Well, the reception used to be fine.
Oh, you'll need to adjust that during transmission.
Huh. That can be your job.
She's not too happy with you, is she?
No. Roger, tell me about getting expelled from school.
Who'd you talk to?
Oh, some obnoxious chap called Waterman.
That'd be right. Me and James had an argument with Simon Lowe.
It was more than just an argument, wasn't it?
All right, we beat him up. You'd call Simon an idiot, and he'd lose it. Then we'd get stuck into him. It became a sort of game.
Really? I wonder if Simon saw it like that. So you got kicked out, but not James. Why?
Because James said I was the sole instigator. We were mates. You never talk to me again?
I think I'd be pretty resentful of James if that had have been me.
It was years ago. And I didn't sabotage his TV, if that's what you're asking.
It's Superintendent Lawson again.
Right.
I would like you to do something about it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lowe, but
He pushed me in front of a car.
Yeah, I understand that, all right? But
Tyneman tried to kill me, and you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, okay.
He wanted me off his show, and now
Doc,
this.
just... Can you talk to him?
Mustana mula inoanglo.
And you, Dr. Blake.
Where's Lawson?
So what's it going to be, Constable?
Really has no idea how to get on with people, does he?
Oh, I don't think it's ever occurred to him. He was right about the show, though. I spoke to his old school teacher. That last question was designed to unsettle him.
How?
Well, back in the day, his teacher's preferred term of abuse for Simon was idiot. Of course, the rest of the class picked up on it. James was part of that too. Seems the word idiot has become Simon's Achilles heel.
What's your point?
Simon was effectively cheated out of £1,000. Now, that gives him plenty of motive for killing James Holbrook.
And he still can't explain those 10 minutes he went missing.
Someone else we should be looking at. Roger Lambert. He went to school with James and Simon. In fact, they got into trouble for beating Simon up.
Why didn't he tell us that when he was dropping Simon Lowe into it?
What are you planning on doing with him? Right, there we are. Ah, Simon, this is Mrs. Beasley.
Hello, Simon.
Is this house yours?
Well, this was my father's house.
Is he dead now?
Yes, yes he is. And Mrs. Beasley looked after him for quite a while. Right, Simon, why don't you, come through to my surgery?
What are you doing?
I'm really not sure. Some tea, please. Simon, can we talk about that question that cost you the championship?
I already said I should have won. They knew what they were doing with that question.
Yes.
A, moron. B, cretin. C, imbecile. D, idiot, idiot, idiot.
It seems, if I may, the very mention of the word idiot makes your blood pressure increase instantly. The adrenaline pumps through your system. Your entire body is primed for fight or flight. It makes calm, logical thought damn near impossible, and that's what happened to you the other night, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. No wonder you got that last question wrong. Your old school teacher took a fairly common term of abuse and he made it yours. The kids in the class picked up on it. And pretty soon you only had to hear the word and you'd lose all control.
Professor Waterman started it all.
Yes. When in fact, you are the furthest thing from an idiot I could possibly imagine. Professor Waterman compiles questions for the show. And I'm pretty sure Patrick Tyneman and Alan conspired with him to get you kicked off. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have no proof.
He didn't like me.
No, he did not.
Neither does your housekeeper.
That's a little bit different. She just thought you were being rude.
Everyone thinks I killed James.
Yes, they do.
Do you?
I don't know, did you?
No.
Do you know who did?
No.
Well, seemingly you have considerable motive. You come across as quite angry. And that is why people think it was you. So, the question is, who else had a reason to kill him?
Do you have a blackboard?
And then he brings him in here, into the house. Simon Lowe. What? That awful man from the show? Yes. Why?
Well, why does the doctor do any of these things?
But isn't Simon Lowe a suspect?
Oh, yes.
Well, why would you bring him here? And how long is he going to stay for?
I suggest you ask the doctor.
Did you watch the show?
Yes.
Then you'll know James appeared in 5 heats before the final.
Which composer is famous for writing the opera Così fan tutti?
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Correct.
The heat has a total of 25 questions. In every heat, he was asked at least 23 questions about music, sport, or European politics, his specialty subjects.
So you're saying the questions were rigged?
That percentage is far beyond probability. During the first heat, Verity Coleman stood at a standard distance from James.
There's a standard distance.
Allowing for the distance from camera, the contestant occupies one half of the television screen while Verity occupies the other.
That's how I started out, just talking and love.
That angle diminished over the course of James's 5 heats,
Don't forget on Thursday this week.
culminating in our final appearance when Verity's position meant the camera had to move to include her. Now, on at least 5 occasions during shooting, I witnessed conversations of increasing length between James and Verity, when details of impending questions could have been discussed.
Well, perhaps there's more to it.
Such as?
£1,000 in cash.
They were having an affair.
Why would they?
And why would anyone have an affair?
I don't understand your question.
Well, it's difficult to explain, but the point is, if Verity and James were in fact having an affair and Alan found out, that would give him a strong motive to kill James.
Stronger than being cheated out of winning the championship.
Maybe stronger. Jean? I think we might have to set another place for dinner.
That man's eating with us.
Yes, he is. Please.
And then after that?
After that, I thought we could make up a bed in the spare room.
And what if he electrocutes us all while we're sleeping?
Well, at least then I won't be wondering who killed James Holbrook, will I? By the way, I think Verity Coleman might have been having an affair with James.
How is that connected?
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to have to make another visit to TV Land. Excuse me, sorry to trouble you. Dawn Prentice. Dawn, I'm wondering if we could have a chat.
I'm very busy. We can walk together?
Certainly. And tell me, what is it you actually do here at the station?
During production, I'm stage manager. Daily routine, I open and close the station, answer phones, take notes, organise schedules. I do some repairs and I make tea.
That's a lot of jobs.
They're all menial.
Professor Waterman tells me you're very smart.
Not as smart as Simon.
You and James were engaged to be married, weren't you?
Yes.
He was a very popular contestant, wasn't he? Smart, handsome. It must have been difficult seeing how other women reacted to him.
You're thinking something, why don't you just ask it?
All right. Was James having an affair with Verity Coleman, and if so, did Alan Coleman know about it?
You're not sure, so you're trying to get a reaction from me.
Question still stands.
I love James. Verity being Verity always wants what she can't have. But James loved me. And that money was going to set us up for life. Any more questions?
Today's forecasts are for Victoria. A few light clearing showers in the southern district, otherwise fine. Cool to mild, day southwest to southeast wind.
Anything you need, Simon?
Ballarat.
A cup of tea.
Too early, then fine.
A cup of tea,
Cloudy at
please.
times, cold with southerly winds.
He was simply answering your question.
Rudely. Don't talk in front of him.
I can't hear.
Well, excuse us, Simon, but this is where we live.
Ladies and gentlemen, Game of Champions suffered a tragic loss.
I think I'll go make that
Show
cup of
must go
tea.
on.
No, I'll get it.
Shush.
Holdover champion Simon Lowe will return, but who will be his challenger? Professor Michael Waterman, respected teacher and Simon's old schoolmaster. The master meets the student on Game of Champions tomorrow night at 7:30.
The man's a fool. He doesn't stand a chance.
Lawson, I think I've got another suspect for us. No. Hear me out. Clearly, Simon Lowe struggles with any sense of emotional connection, but what he does understand is patterns. And what he saw with each ongoing episode of that show was Verity Coleman standing closer and closer to James Holbrook.
Every woman I talked to wanted to stand closer to that bloke.
Yes, I'm sure. Look, Simon couldn't quite put it together, but what he described was essentially two people becoming interested in each other. And Dawn Prentice confirmed it.
Confirmed it?
Yes, she knew. The question is, how much did Alan know, and did he do anything about it?
So, studio full of people with motive. Alan Coleman, Verity Coleman, Roger Lambert and Simon Lowe.
Look, historically, I know Simon's been at the centre of trouble, but it was never of his making.
He still remains number one on my suspect list.
Live from Ballarat Studios, BTV Channel 8 and Chinaman Electrics are proud to present Game of Champions, tonight at 7:30.
You know they'll rig the questions.
Yes.
And that word Waterman used to call you, that's how they'll try to make you feel.
They're wrong.
Well, they'll still try.
It's the way you described. Fight or flight. They can use that word. I'll be ready for it.
You don't have to go, you know.
I'm smarter than Professor Waterman. Even if it's rigged, I'll beat him.
All right, Danny, keep an eye on him. Make sure there's no trouble.
Simon, sandwiches?
I'm not hungry.
Well, have them later then.
Suertehin, kasana, Simon.
Not an easy person to like, is he?
Well, depends what you're looking for.
Hello, Simon.
We have to get you ready. You know where the makeup room is?
Thank you, Constable.
Oh, that's fine.
He's hard work, isn't he?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And now, please welcome the stars of the show, Alan and Verity Coleman.
Thank you, Tony. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special episode of Game of Champions. Tonight, we present the student and the master, the returning champion and his teacher. Ladies and gentlemen...
I'm confused. I don't know if I want him to win or not.
There's no pattern. None of this makes any sense.
Do we have to talk about this now?
Simon, your next question. What chemical appears as number 75 on the periodic table? A, magnesium. B, rhenium. C, beryllium. D, silicon.
Number 75 on the periodic table is rhenium.
Correct.
Whoever kills James left no evidence apart from one screw on the dressing room floor, and a number of people had access to that room, and therefore the television, before and after the show. So any one of them could have killed him.
I'll turn it up.
What are we missing?
Quite a lot, actually.
Who was the 7th King of England following the invasion of the House of Normandy? A, King John. B, King Henry. C, King Lear. D, King Edward.
King John was the 7th King of England after the invasion of Normandy.
Correct. Perfect score.
He's a machine.
No, he's not a machine, he's just very intelligent in a very particular way. James Holbrook was loved by everyone, wasn't he?
Quite literally.
And yet someone sabotaged that television so that after he won the quiz, he'd be killed. Well, why would someone want to kill him? Unless we're asking the wrong question.
Professor Waterman, Simon is...
James wasn't actually expected to win.
You'll need to have your skates on tonight. Are you ready to quiz?
I am, Alan.
Simon, you'll be off air for the professor's round.
Bloody hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to make your way to the foyer in a quiet and orderly fashion. Everything is under control. Thank you.
I'll shut down the studio till I can get the wiring checked. Why would someone want to kill him on air?
What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
We pay you to do a job, Roger.
I checked those wires.
This is a total bloody disaster. A man just died live on television.
Save your arguments for later, please.
How am I supposed to sell electrical appliances when this clown's contestants keep on getting electrocuted?
Shut up, Patrick. Everybody down to the station now.
Bloody needle in a haystack.
4 needles in a very large haystack.
Only one of them tampered with those headphones.
Questions were rigged. I didn't need to kill him.
I checked everything before the show. Everything.
I don't think people realise just how smart Simon was. I did.
I handed him the headphones. actually touched his hand.
What do you think of James?
Simon had enemies. James didn't.
James was going to be our star. Our new champion.
What did you think of Simon?
I couldn't stand Simon. But to see him just lying there.
Does this mean whoever killed Simon probably killed James too?
So?
What?
Mr. Timon's downstairs. Wants to talk to you.
Great.
For God's sake, Lawson, it's 2 in the morning. I've been waiting an hour and a half. I've been treated like a criminal, and you will never tell me to shut up again.
2 people have been murdered, Patrick.
You think I don't know that?
One of those murdered was in here yesterday claiming that you tried to kill him. You pushed him in front of a car.
This is bullshit, Lawson.
Is it? You were also present tonight at Simon Lowe's death. You've made no secret about how much you hated him.
Everybody hated him.
And it was your television that killed Mr. Holbrook. Should I keep going?
You don't believe any of this?
You can go home for now. And I'll tell you to shut up when I need to. You too, Parks. Go home.
Yes, sir.
Does this mean whoever killed Simon probably killed James too?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I know it's late.
Oh, I didn't think you'd be sleeping. Danny!
Evening.
Danny?
You been busy?
Yes.
Am I missing out on something?
All right, I'm going to say it. He was a difficult man, but he didn't deserve to die like that.
No, he certainly didn't. You know, I've been asking 2 questions. Who would want to kill James? And 2, who would want to kill Simon?
Well, the second question's easier than the first.
Jean, say you were running a successful quiz show and you were the star of that show.
Oh, so she's Alan Coleman.
Yes. You want to get rid of a particularly unpopular contestant. What do?
I'd keep asking him difficult questions till he got one wrong.
You wouldn't kill him.
No, why would I?
Yeah, I would do that too.
Say your wife is becoming close to another contestant.
No, I'd smack him out.
I'd talk to her.
I'd confront them both and then I'd divorce her.
Right. So you wouldn't kill James or Simon.
I wouldn't need to.
Danny, James and Simon got you kicked out of school. Now you're doomed to work in a repair shop for the rest of your life.
Okay, I'm really pissed off.
Mm-hmm. You kill them?
No, you wouldn't.
This is my question. Why now?
Oh, you tell me.
Well, because they're both more successful than me. I don't know. It's just... Why wouldn't I get back at them years ago? And why wouldn't I just beat them up? I mean, it's so much more simpler.
I agree.
All right. Maddie, you're Verity.
No, I want to be Dawn.
Why?
Well, from what you said, that would make me the smartest.
Right. Okay. You went to school with James and Simon, but no one really paid much attention to you.
Well, everyone seems to be paying attention to Simon. And now he's on the show, it's all happening again.
Uh-huh. Why do you kill your fiancé?
I don't know. Do I love him?
Here's your ticket out of here.
Well, then why would I kill him? I wouldn't. I couldn't.
Was it an accident?
Now we're asking the right question. Good evening, Dawn. Ready for your questions?
What are you doing here?
Giving you your moment in the spotlight after all these years in Simon Lowe's shadow. Are you ready? Who was the smartest person in your class at school? A. Simon Lowe, B. James Holbrook, C. Roger Lambert, or D. Dawn Prentice? Come on, give me your answer.
Simon Lowe.
Wrong. The correct answer is D. Dawn Prentice. Next question.
You shouldn't be here. I'm calling security.
True or false? You didn't know Alan Coleman and Patrick Tyneman were conspiring to get Simon off the show. Come on, Dawn.
True.
Correct. You had no idea James was meant to be champion. Otherwise, you would never have sabotaged that television set.
Is this all a game to you?
No. No, not at all. And it wasn't a game for you either, was it? True or false? You loved James.
True.
You hated Simon.
True.
But you only ever meant to kill Simon, didn't you? True or false? Come on. Answer me!
True! I killed the man I loved. Simon was going to become champion. He was going to take our money, so yes, true!
The sad thing is, Dawn, that makes you the real loser in all of this.
Loser always leaves with nothing. Dawn Prentice, I'm arresting you for the murders of Simon Lowe and James Holbrook. Anything you say may be taken down and used in evidence against you.
True.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of Game of Champions, the quiz show with all the answers. And now, please welcome the stars of the show, Alan and Verity Coleman.
Well, I think I've had enough television to last me a lifetime.
Me too. How about a game of pontoon?
Ah, now you're talking.
Kitchen table?
I've got the cards.
In cash, together with these great prizes from Heinemann and Lexington.
A very hearty welcome to all of you watching at home. Now, briefly, this is the way we play the game.
Drinks are on me. Money up front. How about this instead?
Came into the pub last night telling everyone he'd struck gold.
Well, that was smart. Mr. Pike died in his gold mine, treating it as suspicious.
Tyre track made after Arthur's car arrived by a motorcycle stopping about here.
These burn marks. Gus, what do you make of them?
Looks like he was tortured.
You had Eddie go back and find the exact location of that mine, and then you rode over there on your motorcycle.
What? No, I didn't do it.
If your lot hadn't been such cowards!
Oh, how dare you! There's no gold here.
What is down there?
Nothing.
Really? Maybe I'll just take a little look.